Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. I'm Adrian, and we are playing some more Soul Sisters version 2.0. And what do we think of this opening hand? I mean, Soul Sister, a couple lands, a Squadron Hawk. Man, this is like the best opening hand. I think this is almost the best hand we can have. I think having an Honor the Pure might be better marginally, but pretty darn good. But I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain at all, actually. This is pretty much everything we want. We're going to play down a Soul Warden. And we're going to ship it to our opponent's turn, and we're going to let them figure out what they're doing now. Because they now know we're playing Soul Sisters. As soon as you play one of them, everyone's like, we're playing against a Soul Sisters deck. Which just means, like, the interesting thing about playing Soul Sisters is it changes how your opponent has to play against you. I mean, there's a ton of decks out there where you're kind of playing against them the same way. But Soul Sisters, like a lot like Burn, looks like we're playing against a mill deck of some sort. Soul Sisters, a lot like, let's play Plains, by the way. And do I play Squadron Hawk now and just start trying to get in as much pound damage? Or, no, we're going to play with Pridemate and try and get in as much fast damage as we can because we're gaining a bunch of life on it. So, always yield on this guy. And always yes and always yield. Anyways, as I was saying though, your opponent has to change how they play against Soul Sisters because a lot of decks out there are just like, the objective is to get your opponent to, 0 life, and you can do that in X number of turns because you know you have aggro creatures and you should have enough gas in your hand and in your deck to accomplish all these things. Whereas Soul Sisters, because everyone's gaining life, or because I'm gaining life a bunch, Ensnaring Bridge, that's awesome. Not awesome. That is like literally one of the worst cards we can see in our hand right now. Or literally one of the worst cards we can see. Because this is creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. That is rough. Yeah, so basically means that not Ensnaring Bridge. Playing against Soul Sisters means that your opponent needs to be like, okay, I need to make sure that I have enough gas to get past Soul Sisters. Because lots of times we'll just overwhelm them. So I think the best course of action is actually to play Spectral Procession, and because right now it doesn't matter that we are getting life. Our opponent's going to be milling us out. So we are going to start out with combat, swinging with everything, and then we're going to have to probably play Spectral Procession and try and getting with as many weenies as humanly possible. So that is a thing we're going to have to do. It's going to be a little bit difficult for us next. After Sideboard, it's still going to be hard for us because Ensnaring Bridge really shuts down our deck. So that is something for us to keep in mind. So, yes. It's going to be an interesting morning, that's for sure. Each player, at the beginning of each player's... Okay, yeah, so another mill card. Actually a pretty fun mill card for coming out of Hour of Devastation. It's nice to see that they put in some solid mill stuff. We can always yield to this. We know it's going to be triggering every single time. Another Spectral Procession that's actually quite good. I mean, obviously we're now no longer be able to swing with Ajani's Pridemate, but that doesn't... We knew this was going to happen, so it's not the end of the world. Let's go to combat, swing with everything. Our opponent needs to dump his hand because we have a lot of small creatures, which is going to be really problematic for him because we're, well, doing 4 damage right now, right? So, yeah. And we're about to do another, we're going to have another set of 3. So 4 damage is going to turn into 5, 6, 7 damage. Again, us gaining life means nothing right now for us. Means nothing for us because our opponent's aiming to mill us out. Our opponent is aiming to kill us via cards being in our graveyard. Or not in our deck, more accurately, actually. So this is actually another one. So this is another way you have kind of like how you play around mill is similar to how you have to play around like Soul Sisters. Not as much. Mill kind of is just going forward, where Soul Sisters is like actively fighting against how you win. So it's a little bit different. And Honor the Pure. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand, so we're going to drop down Honor the Pure and swing in, I think, for lethal. So, is it lethal? Yeah, totally lethal. Go to Sideboard. Let's see. So we're playing against a, like, mill, basically a lockdown deck. So we need to throw in Disenchants. That's like the first major thing that needs to go in here. Let's put those over here so we can actually see what we're putting in. Other things that we need to put in. Aven Mindcensor is not really going to help us out. Celestial Purge is only black and red permanents, which I didn't see any black or red permanents. We had blue. I mean, there are lots of blue. Day of Judgment's not going to help us out. Secure the Wastes, also not going to help us out. I mean, I guess maybe getting a bunch of white weenies on the table might be handy. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that handy. And what can we take out? Proclamation, I think you can come out. You're not going to be that good. Ghostly Prisons can come out. You're not also going to be it either because we didn't see creatures. Banishing Light is going to be really good. This is going to help us with the Snaring Bridge. Sun Titan I'm leaving in because our opponent will probably have some kind of hate once we actually play down a Banishing Light or potentially creatures. So we can use Sun Titan if we get there to lock down our opponent maybe more. Probably not. Realistically, probably not. But I'd rather have it there. And we have 2 slots open. 2 ways we can go. I think Secure the Wastes. We can just try and get a bunch of tokens, swing in for a little bit of damage. And the other option would be either putting in Kami of the False Hope or putting in a Brave the Elements. I think we're going to put in a single Brave the Elements. Maybe might be helpful if our opponent has a board wipe. So let's try. Let's try. I'm not 100% sure because our deck isn't super built to deal with dredge deck or deal with mill decks. So that is a thing to keep in mind. This hand, oh yeah, Condemn could have come out. Dang it, I missed that. This hand is marginally keepable. We're gonna keep it, mostly because we have a lot of stuff we can actually play on like turn 1 and 2. Hey, it's a land. It's a crab. It's the crab that puts stuff in your graveyard. And we will just start the play down of stuff right now. Again, Soul Sisters right now, because we're playing against a mill deck, is like completely pointless. I mean, our opponent literally does not care that we are going to be gaining life. So, yeah. And because he doesn't care we're getting life, because he's aiming to like mill us out. He's aiming to just fill our graveyard up with cards. Or empty our, maybe the more accurate way of describing mill is they're aiming to empty our deck of cards. And he is grabbing Honor the Pure out of our graveyard, which is a good call. I mean, that is the smartest call our opponent can do, because it's definitely going to give him time to definitely mill us out, rather than us, you know, pounding down a whole bunch of 1/1 tokens that are now 2/2 tokens. So smart call on our opponent. That is a good choice. I often see when I'm playing this deck, because actually play Soul Sisters in real life, in paper, and it's definitely like Honor the Pure tends to be a pretty quick thing that people tend to kill off because they know Soul Sisters goes wide. So good choice on our opponent. Oh, there's still one in our graveyard though. Did he choose something other than Honor the Pure? No. Did he? Okay, so he exiled the ones in our deck, but not the ones in our graveyard. Doesn't make sense because we still have a Sun Titan. Curious. Okay, well, I'm not gonna judge. And the question here now is, do we play down Ajani's Pridemate, or do we get rid of this guy? I think what we're going to do is we're going to swing in. We're going to go to combat. Let our opponent think he's all... oh, this is going to allow him to gain life. Target attack. Oh, and it's attacking creature only. Dang. Condemn is just not... I should have taken Condemn out, like, right away. In this case, we are actually going to throw in the Pridemate right now and then ship it to our opponent's turn. Oh, we could have faked it, actually. I should have faked it. Sorry, guys. I misplayed there. I should have actually totally swung in with the Soul Warden, because he's obviously not going to kill it if he blocks it, and faking the fact that we may have had something to, like, kill off his crab. But I didn't, so it didn't happen. And yeah, we'll ship it to our opponent's turn. We're just going to have to wait this one out. Hopefully he doesn't have a Snaring Bridge. Hopefully. I mean, we probably could have swung a Soul Warden right there. Hopefully he doesn't have an Ensnaring Bridge, because that will actually make our Ajani's Pridemate have a bad day real quickly, because we need it to, you know, get through damage. It's an important thing for us. So we'll find out. Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge. We maybe should have mulliganed, actually, now that I think back. Thinking back retroactively, totally should have mulliganed down to get some sort of artifact hate. Need to work on my mulliganing skills, that's for sure. That's not the end of the world, though. He has 3 cards in hand. Johnny's Pridemate is a 3/3. So let's go to combat. Go to the attacks. Swing with both of these guys. He's obviously going to block one of them. Probably going to block the Soul Warden and take the 3 damage. He's not too concerned about it at this point. But that can turn around pretty fast. Does he block anything? Yeah, blocks the Soul Warden. Makes sense. Put target attacking creature on the bottom of his own library. And then we need to figure out what we're going to do from here on. So, 2 possible ways. We can do another Pridemate, but that runs us the risk of basically Ensnaring Bridge not allowing us to attack. The other option would be to play Suture Priest, I guess. Yeah, I guess we're going to play Suture Priest. We could have played Sold's Attendant and then held up mana for Condemn, but he doesn't have any attacking creatures, so it's kind of pointless. So we'll ship it to our opponent. We'll see how it's going to pan out now. I mean, I'm just wondering how, at this exact point, how do we actually get out of this situation? Oh, there's one of our Sun Titans. How do we actually get out of this situation? Because we need to either get some kind of artifact removal or some sort of removal to get rid of Ensnaring Bridge, so we can start getting through damage. Is like the primary thing that we need to do. But I mean, can we do that fast enough? We have 30 cards left. Is going to be the real question here. Brave the Elements. That doesn't help us a lot right now either. Well, our opponent's at 3 now, so a Pridemate can't even swing in. We can swing in for 2 damage, which is probably what we're going to do. So go for 2. Us also being stuck on 2 mana is kind of not the best because we can't actually cast Secure the Waste for any value, and you can't cast Spectral Procession at this point either. So that's rough. I would like to have an extra planes, please. But what are we going to do? We're going to play Soul's Attendant, or we're going to play... No, we can't play Pridemate. Other Pridemate's going to come in as a 4/4. So that doesn't work. So I think we're just going to play Soul's Attendant and then ship it to our opponent. And this needs to be always yes, always yield. And ship it to our opponent's turn. He has the upper hand right now. Right now, our opponent is poised to win this match solely because he has a better engine than we do. Specifically because he has Ensnaring Bridge, which isn't an engine card. I just said engine for a random reason. Yeah. So let's see how this pans out. Right now, it's not looking in our favor. Yep. I really would like to find... Hey, planes. That means we do get to play Spectral Procession. Opponent still has 3 cards in hand. Yeah. Okay, let's go to combat. Swing with these 3. I'm always a little bit concerned because he may have like a board wiper of some sort, so Brave the Elements is actually probably a pretty good idea to hold up the mana for it. That being said, I mean, we are kind of on a clock as well. But at this point, I mean, we're not on that much of a clock. We're doing 2 damage a turn, and he's draining us. He's like milling us like maybe 4 cards a turn. So we may be able to outrace him. Maybe. What do we do? Yeah, we know what we're going to do. We're going to actually pass through, and we're actually going to play Secure the Waste on our opponent's turn, holding up Brave the Elements just to be safe. If you search the library, you may pay 0. Put top 13. That makes our... That fills up our graveyard quite a bit there. Lots of stuff in our graveyard now. Yeah. 5 cards in our deck. Remember that time I was talking about having a faster clock than our opponent? I don't think we do anymore. Mind you, again, we're going to play Secure the Waste, get 2 more bodies into play, and then we might be able to swing in... I don't think we can swing in for lethal yet. I think we kind of need to Brave the Elements for 1 more turn. Yep. Done. Getting 2 tokens. Any of them, put them all into play. All of these abilities. Always yes. Always yield. Get rid of all of those things. Always yield. I get it. 8 cards put into Giant Monster Grave's graveyard each turn. That's exciting. That's very exciting. So, is that on my turn? No, that's on our opponent's turn. Can we swing in for lethal now? We could have swung in for lethal if if our opponent didn't have a creature in play. Because we could have Banishing Light his Ensnaring Bridge away, and then actually stung. Mind you, we can Banishing Light his Frying Sanity. So let's go to combat. Attack with everything that can attack, which is almost everything. And then we're going to Banishing Light his Fraying Station so we don't actually die. Oh no, we have no cards in our graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We needed to do 3 more damage. I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can do it at all. So that's going to be GG for our opponent. Going to game 3. Not much is going to happen here. I'll let him get the mill, just because we have enough extra time. We can let our opponent get the actual mill on us. And then, yeah, dog card, put a card in the graveyard. Yeah. Hedron Crab activates. Ismatic Orb also. Oh boy, that's a good one as well. Ismatic Orb actually I see used in a lot of different things because it's actually a really cool card. Basically, it's a really cheap mill card that mills yourself and your opponent at the same time. And then we go to draw a card. Can't. Yeah, I get you. Always yield. I can always yield on these things. Don't need to be yielding. Okay, go to sideboard. What can we put in? So we can take out Condemn. That is a completely useless card for us. Ghostly Prison. He doesn't have activations. He doesn't have, I mean, Kami of the False Hope, just because we can get another beater in play theoretically. Brave the Elements is 50-50 at best. Suture Priest, Squadron Hawk. I honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think Sun Titan's going to actually help us at all. I would rather put in another Kami of the False Hope, and Aven Mindcensor might be decent. Not the fact that he's searching a ton. He's searching a little bit. I mean, he's doing the land thing. So throwing an Aven Mindcensor in might actually be not a bad idea. And then in response, we can actually... Do we take out the Brave Elements? I mean, we might be able to use it for lethal. Maybe. But we could take out what in place of it? Soul Warden's good. What do we take out in place of it? I think we actually take out a single Honor the Pure. Because, I mean, as soon as he gets in an Ensnaring Bridge, creatures getting an extra +1/+1 is not very handy for us. So, that's the thing. We're going to play first. Definitely playing first. Okay, good. We have a Disenchant. This is actually a really good opening hand. I think we're going to keep this. Seems pretty good, especially because we can Ghost Quarter. If we do get an Aven Mindcensor, we can actually like blow up his land and make him so he can't search, which is always a fun thing to do if you're, if you want to play Magic the Gathering. Make it so your opponent can't play Magic the Gathering. You play Magic the Gathering, and ship it to our opponent's turn now. So our big objective for this round is going to be try and rush our opponent as fast as we can, which is why we took out most things that are good against creature decks, maybe not so good against our deck, or yeah, good against creature decks that are not very good against a mill deck, because again, they're not aiming to put a bunch of creatures in play. I mean, they obviously are putting a creature in play. I mean, Hedron Crab. But Hedron Crab is literally just a mill engine. So whenever land comes into play, you put the top 3, or your opponent, target player, puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. So that is a way of slowly milling us out, especially because they're doing like the fetch land thing. So Aven Mindcensor is actually a pretty good card. Probably should have put it in last turn, to be quite honest. I didn't, but I should have. Now the next question being, do we play Honor the Pure now? I think we do. If we play Honor the Pure now, actually no, cancel that. If I play Squadron Hawk now, that's a better idea. Playing Squadron Hawk now because we can grab all 3 of our Squadron Hawks. And when we get all 3 of our Squadron Hawks, okay. Then we can actually, we all fill up our hand and we'll actually have a bunch of stuff we can be playing. Yes, please. All 3 of them. All 3 Squadron Hawks. Let me actually expand this, guys, so you can see what's going on here. So grabbing all 3 Squadron Hawks. I said all 3. Okay. Grabbing them, and then we ship it to our opponent's turn. No, we go to combat. We're going to swing for 1. See, our opponent's obviously going to block, but you never know. You never know. He might just be like, who knows. Is he going to block? There he goes. He blocks. Okay, and ship it to our opponent's turn. Yes, passing to our opponent's turn. That's what I want to do. To our opponent's turn. Pass to our opponent's turn, and we'll see what he does. He is Oh, nice. Trap, trap, trap. Because I totally searched my library for Squadron Hawks. Well played, sir. Double of them. That is super brutal. That is super scary for us. Uh-huh. Yep. So, ouch. Ouchie, ouch. Well, we'll see what we get next turn. I mean, our opponent... How's our opponent played? Okay, there's their land. Yeah. Always yield. Don't need to be seeing that we are putting cards in our graveyard from things like those. It's quite alright. We get it. We don't need to be reminded every 30 seconds that Squadron Crab Squadron Crab. Yes, that Squadron Crab is doing his putting stuff into the graveyard thing for us. We might lose this one simply because our opponent just like seemed to have drawn the most insano hand. / we also searched our library, which totally screwed us over. Okay. I think it's going to be an Honor the Pure Doom Traveler. I think that's the way we're going to go. Doom Traveler, obviously, swinging in with 1/1. Kill off his crabs, so he can't be blocking anymore. And we're going to slowly get in some damage. I don't think it's going to be fast enough. That is the one thing I'm concerned about right now. So, go to combat. Swing in with everything. And then ship it to our opponent. Oh, no, not ship it to our opponent. Go to our second main phase, is what I'm saying. And we're going to play a Doom Traveler. If I had a Path to Exile, I would probably play it. I don't. Always yes. Always yield. I would probably Path the Crabs because they, can quite quickly start draining our library, especially now there's 2 of them. He plays land, we mill 6 cards. He plays a fetch land, and we mill 12 cards. That gives us a very, very short leash. Very short leash. So we're down to 10 cards. We're basically 2 cards away from our opponent. If our opponent plays 2 lands, we no longer have a deck. Luckily, though, we can be swinging in for 6 damage next turn, which may make our opponent actually block. We also have Disenchant in hand, so in theory, we can actually blow up his Ensnaring Bridge if he plays Ensnaring Bridge, which is what I'm assuming he was looking for. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard, gain life for each other. Well, that was not very fun for us. Our opponent just gained 52 life. Oh no, he is at 52. He gained a lot of life. So this is probably going to be us losing simply because our opponent actually had like the best possible card against our deck, which is rad for our opponent. I mean, kudos to him for that. We do have Secure the Wastes. I think we're going to hold on to Secure the Wastes and play it on our opponent's turn. And we might be able to get through this. Again, we'll go to combat, swing with everything. Swing with it all. Attack with all creatures. And then go to our opponent's turn, I think is what we're going to do. And we'll play Secure the Wastes at the end of their turn, and maybe we'll have enough creatures. I mean, if we can last 2 turns, we might be able to do it. Maybe. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Maybe not. Yes. So we're going to have to destroy that. Going to have to destroy that on our opponent's end step. Does our opponent play a land? I did not see a land. Okay. Choose. Oh. At the beginning of your end step. I should have done that during his main phase. I thought it was the beginning of his upkeep. Anyways, it's 0 cards right now, so that's fine by me. So, yeah. Yeah, no cards. Go into my, maybe 1. I can't remember. And then, do I play Secure the Wastes for 1? I don't think that's worth it for us. Playing Secure the Wastes for a bunch more might be worth it for us. It's hard to say. Yeah. Again, our opponent plays 2 lands, or plays a fetch land, and we are super dead. Yeah. Okay, well, ship it to our opponent's turn. Rough times for us. Hey, he plays a land. It is just a basic land. That is 6 cards. We're down to 1 card. We literally need to kill our opponent next turn, which I don't think is physically possible. So, yeah, especially if he plays an Ensnaring Bridge. If he has an Ensnaring Bridge in hand, we are super dead. Secure the Wastes. And for all of our manas. Yep. So we're going to get four guys. Not enough to win the game, but not the end of the world. What do we draw? We have 1 card. One card in hand. What do we draw? We draw a Plains, which doesn't help us. Not even in the least. So let's go to combat. We'll swing in, and then we're going to have to call this game as I lost. Man, our opponent definitely got real lucky with this cryptic. Was his Crypt Incursion? Definitely made us ruin our day. Tap all creatures. Well done, opponent. I will give you the clap. This is me clapping for you. Congratulations, GG. And this is going to be Adrian signing off. You guys saw us play against a pretty rad mill deck. I haven't actually put together a mill deck yet because mill decks aren't the easiest and cheapest to build. Cheapest, not easiest. Cheapest to build. So anyways, until next time, I'm Adrian. This is Giant Monster Games. Don't forget to game like a giant monster.